Hi there, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'll be sharing another NICU story just so you can see and get a glimpse of what NICU is like. And my goal with these stories is also to provide hope for parents that are going through NICU currently. So if you're interested in hearing these stories, make sure you stay tuned. Hi there, my name is Iman, and on this channel I teach moms and their families all about their high-risk pregnancy and the NICU to decrease fear and increase confidence. So before I start, I have a freebie for parents that are currently going through NICU, and it's a cheat sheet that has all the common medical terms that are used in the NICU. So if you would think that would help you and your situation, make sure you grab that cheat sheet down in the description box. And also, if you love hearing the stories that I'm telling this month and you would love to share your story, make sure you check down in the description box for the form to fill out. So today I have a very unique story of a mom. I normally like to share 2 stories in a video, but today you only get 1. But this one story is full of ups and downs and a roller coaster of emotion. And so this mom is amazing for what she went through, and I believe her story and her experience can help so many other moms out there. So let's get started. So this mom's name is Celeste, and I hope I'm saying that right. So this is her story, Avery's story. It took over 2 years to get pregnant the first time. We tried everything short of IVF and had decided to adopt instead. The day we found out we were done with the home study process for adoption was the day I found out I was pregnant. We couldn't believe it. The pregnancy was going great, no issues to be concerned about, and the icing on the cake, my best friend was also pregnant for the first time and due on the exact same day. Wow. At 20-week anatomy scan, my cervix showed some shortening, but not enough to be worried about. 10 days later, I started having what I thought was a stomach bug. After 2 hours of cramping, I finally went to the ER. The nurse who had did my pelvic exam broke my water. Oh no. And basically, there was nothing they can do and walked out. I was 21 and 5 days, and Avery was stillborn a few hours later. Of everything we've been through, this was the hardest. Cannot even describe the pain. My heart breaks for Celeste and just all the moms that go through this, because I couldn't even imagine how painful that pain was. To this day, I still wonder what our family would be like with her. She would have turned 5 last month. This is the only pregnancy picture I have with my daughter Avery that I'll be showing you. This was taken as a joke to send to my best friend. Avery was born 3 weeks later at 21 weeks and 5 days. So this picture I'll be showing you is the only picture that Celeste has of her baby Avery. So it was like a joke photo, and she's just making a funny face and pointing to her belly. So that's the only photo she has. Thank you so much, Celeste, for sharing your story with us. So, and then this other photo that she sent me is a memory footprint and handprint for her baby Avery. Oh, yeah, and she's holding them. So it's just her footprints and her handprints. Oh, my heart goes out to you and your family, and my prayers goes out to you, because it's not easy. And sharing your story of your loss is really going to help other moms that go through the same thing, because it happens, and I feel like not many people talk about it. There are great Instagram pages that talk about infant loss and pregnancy loss. So I would find that for you guys, and I will link it down below if you need that extra support. So going back to the story. Number 2, Elliot's story. So this is her second pregnancy, I believe. After losing Avery, I was diagnosed with an incompetent cervix. My doc did a McDonald transvaginal cerclage at 13 weeks, but my cervix never got longer than 2.5 centimeters. At 20 weeks, it started getting even shorter, and I was also on a McKenna injection, nifedipine, and progesterone suppositories. I was basically terrified of the whole pregnancy, of course, because of everything that she went through with her other pregnancy. The fear is so real. Every little thing I felt was scary. But by my 28-week appointment, I was funneled to the stitch and only had 0.5 centimeters left of her cervix. So her cervix was shortening and shortening. A few days later, I went into labor and I was helicoptered to the high level NICU because my city doesn't take babies less than 34 weeks. So because her baby's born less than 32 weeks, she will need a level 3 NICU. And so her baby is around 28 weeks. That's why she was sent to another NICU that are able to manage and care for extremely premature babies. Elliot was born via C-section at 28 weeks and 4 days. And he was 3 pounds and 1 ounce. And here's a photo of Elliot. Wow. So this is a very common photo of a baby that's just born. So they have all these wires, all these tubes, IVs, monitor leads, blood pressure cuff, breathing tube. So he has everything that the normal NICU baby has. But he was 3 pounds and 1 ounce, which is actually a big size for a 28 weeker, is what I just noticed. But what a cutie. Even though his face is covered. He did really well for the first 24 hours, but then coded. So we call that the honeymoon period. Most babies do so good for the first 24 hours, and then something happens and they go downhill. This is such a common situation, especially for our babies that are born under 28 weeks. So he coded because of a pulmonary hemorrhage. Wow. So there was basically bleeding inside his lungs. His biggest obstacle afterward was his bilateral grade 3 and grade 4 brain bleed. So IVH is a brain bleed with a mild PVL. We were monitored by the neurosurgery team until he was around 22 months. So any baby that's diagnosed with a level 3 or level 4, and by the time they go home, they still have that bleed of level 3 and level 4, then a neurosurgical team will follow them. Most of the time, that's how it works. So check with your doctor and your team if that would work in your hospital. But that's what I've seen work in my hospital as well, and that's exactly what happened with Celeste. These babies are followed very closely even after they go home. Fast forward to now, he's doing absolutely amazing. Meeting all milestones and any therapy, that's amazing. You wouldn't even believe you wouldn't even know he was a preemie. Elliot now turned 2 on, I believe that's August 3rd, 2021. And so this is a photo of Elliot smiling, beaming. Oh, so cute. Oh, I'm so glad he did okay, especially with having those type of brain bleeds, that he did well. Oh, so cute. And so with IVH, that's a whole different topic, and I plan to do a video on IVH with a doctor so we can explain it more. But basically, intraventricular hemorrhage is a brain bleed, and so the earlier the baby is born, the more chances they will have that brain bleed. And those brain bleeds can cause serious disabilities as the baby grows. So we don't really know how it affects the babies until they start growing and reaching milestones and basically seeing how they do with the rest of their life. Back to the story. Advice on prematurity and NICU. I'd like people to know that they can trust their care team. It is just nuts seeing what some people post in preemie Facebook groups. One woman didn't want the doctor touching her baby's head at all because her baby has a soft spot. Almost like she thought the doctor didn't know that. I just can't even relate to that. Moms are terrified, rightfully so, but these babies are in the best hands possible, with people who do nothing but work with babies like these. My mom was a NICU nurse. Oh, she was one of us for 20 years. And I know that she loved every single one of her babies and did the absolute best she could for them. Third story. This is Nolan's story. So because of my transvaginal cerclage, so I believe this is her third pregnancy. So because of my transvaginal cerclage failed, I had a pre-pregnancy transabdominal cerclage placed. So I actually had to look this up because I didn't realize there are different types of cerclages that can be placed. So basically, with all my research and all the photos that I looked at, the pre-pregnancy transabdominal cerclage is a thicker band, and it's placed actually much higher in the cervix than the McDonald's cerclage that she had. So this pre-pregnancy transabdominal cerclage has to be placed before pregnancy, before the baby is conceived, and it's placed really high up on the cervix, and it's a bigger and thicker band versus the regular, most common cervix tend to be more of a stitch and tend to be in the lower cervix. Because the McDonald's cerclage didn't work when she was pregnant with Elliot, they decided to put in this other cerclage, trans-abdominal cerclage. When she got the trans-abdominal cerclage placed, she got pregnant a few months later. This pregnancy was a breeze. Felt great both physically and mentally. Oh, that's great to hear. Can't explain it, but I was not scared during this one like I was with Elliot. I was active most of my pregnancy and so proud of my belly. Oh, I just realized actually, if you have a premature baby, you don't get to experience that big full belly that most people get and take photos of. So Celeste mentioning that she was so proud of her belly is it's a real feeling, because a lot of moms that have preemies don't get that full belly. And so her even mentioning that is just a small thing that once you go through having a preemie, you really appreciate if you get that full belly. It's like so small, but it's a big deal for us moms that hopefully go full term with our next babies. Nolan was born at 36 weeks and 6 days and didn't need NICU time. Yes, that is so good to hear. And this is a photo of Nolan. I'll just paste it right here. Aw, beautiful photo. Definitely almost a full term baby. So beautiful. I'm so glad that Celeste got to experience having a full term baby after having a preemie and a loss, because it's a blessing when you can go full term after having gone through NICU and having to avoid NICU. Because I had the same thing. I had a preemie, my first pregnancy, and my second pregnancy. I was literally counting down the weeks until I can get to full term, and I was terrified. So once having a full term baby after having a preemie, it's just like it's a relief. So grateful that I was able to go full term with my second, and Celeste got her full term baby as well. And I just wanted to say to other moms out there, because I see this question a lot in the NICU preemie Facebook page, of moms are terrified of having another preemie. And if like once you have a preemie, will all your other babies be preemies? No. So many moms, and I've seen in my practice, in my own life, myself, like there are so many moms who have preemie once, maybe even twice, but most of the time it's just once, and then they have full-term babies after, because most of the time those moms are high risk, and that condition is very closely monitored and intervened very quickly. So that's what happened with me and many other moms. So just don't give up. I know the fear, it's totally normal to have fear of having another preemie, but just don't give up, and don't let that hold you back from having another baby if you want. So I just wanted to put that out there. There are many moms that have full-term babies after having preemies. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the condition that Celeste had, which is incompetent cervix or cervical insufficiency, is one of the most common conditions that causes premature labor or premature birth. This is one of the most common conditions I see in working in the NICU. The thing is with the incompetent cervix, when it's your first pregnancy, no one knows which mom is more at risk with having this than others. You literally have to get pregnant, have that baby grow, and then show symptoms. And by then, it's kind of too late to do anything, and those moms attempt to put on bed rest and try to keep the baby in as long as possible. But those moms that have history of incompetent cervix, if those moms decide to have more babies, they'll get the cerclage put in right away. I would say like around 12 to 14 weeks is when you get the cerclage put in. So cerclage needs to be put in your first trimester for it to work appropriately. So those moms tend to get a cerclage put in their next pregnancies, and hopefully that pregnancy they can go further along. So cerclage is one of the main treatments for having an incompetent cervix. So I just want to say thank you so much, Celeste, for sharing your story. I really hope I'm saying your name properly. If not, you can literally comment down below and let me know. But thank you so much for sharing your story. And if you are a NICU parent and went through NICU and you would love to share your story on my channel, make sure you fill out the form down below in the description box. I would love to share your story on this channel to help other parents and to bring hope. So just fill out the form down below. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.